Download the TM Pay app on Google Play and App Store and enjoy fantastic online deals. TM Pay, real value always. It's time for the news.
It's a very good evening to you all and welcome to the news at 8. My name is Natasha Burnett, Susan Masona at the Sign Language Desk.
And I'm Tariro Manamike. We also have Marilyn Gwenya at our Montrose studios. But for now, let's take a look at the leading stories tonight.
Trabablas Interchange expected to enhance regional trade.
Bulawayo residents plead for protection as machete wielding gangs wreak havoc.
And coming up later on in sport, Moors open up 5-point lead as Simba Bora drop points in a thrilling match played at Ngoni Stadium this Saturday.
Those were our leading stories. Now let's give you the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has reaffirmed the government's commitment towards road and transport infrastructure development.
He added that these are key anchors to the country's economic resurgence programs. Our chief correspondent Ruben Barwe has the details.
The commissioning of the Trabablas Interchange, formerly called Mbudzi Roundabout in Harare, or the traffic circle, is one of the signature projects of the Second Republic. The President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, said, "We are constructing high-impact projects for the benefit of our country and its people."
The construction of this interchange is not an isolated project. It is part of my government's plan to ease congestion across other cities. We are widening major roads leading into the central business districts, which will complement by creating appropriate interchanges at major intersections.
President Mnangagwa said the ones Kingsway in Harare to the airport road, now named the Joshua Nkomo Road, to the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, will be one of the 4 interchanges to be built by the Second Republic.
We have developed a strategy to transform our transport system to make it more efficient, sustainable, and people-centered. We shall continue to improve our infrastructure of roads countrywide, so that there is no part of Zimbabwe which must be left behind. I'm happy that today we are witnessing the completion of the construction of this state-of-the-art interchange.
Government departments and ordinary citizens should work together for the benefit of society, as demonstrated by the completion of the Trabablas Interchange in Harare, said the head of state.
Without doubt, this project is the ultimate culmination and robust assertion of the value of state and the non-state actor collaboration of building our motherland, Zimbabwe, ourselves.
At the end of the day, many Zimbabweans, we have not been home for a long time. More is being done by the people back home. Proud Zimbabweans are building their country despite all odds stacked against this country. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
The freight and forwarding industry has applauded the completion of the Trabablas Interchange, stating its importance to facilitate seamless transportation of goods and services.
The multi-million-dollar interchange, which opened to the traffic this Friday, has ignited optimism across various sectors. Shipping and Freight Forwarding Association of Zimbabwe says the Trabablas Interchange eliminates a gridlock that lengthened transit times.
They are now developing, especially roads, using what is called a corridor approach. So the development started at the Bight Bridge border post, where the border was modernized to meet international standards. The upgrade of the Trabablas Interchange is now a boon for transporters, as they'll be able to traverse within the north-south corridor much easier and fastly because of this development.
Thousands of cargo carriers use the Limpopo corridor from South African ports and industries into the Southern African region through the Beitbridge border post. Hence, this route is critical in facilitating trade and other economic activities. South African-based trade analyst Omari Jalai believes that government has struck the right chord to make Zimbabwe a key regional transport hub.
It's a good initiative to enhance trade in our region, in the sense that trucks were now going through Kazungula, but now they are forced to come through Harare. And this will enable the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority to collect as much revenue through the traffic which is coming through the country.
President Emerson Mnangagwa promised that the North-South corridor is undergoing rehabilitation, and a contractor for the upgrading of the Chirundu border post was identified in a major feat that will enhance Zimbabwe as a regional transport hub. The expansion and upgrading of the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport also signifies government's determination to modernize the entire national transport ecosystem that syncs with an upper-middle-income society. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The recently commissioned Trabablas Interchange has been described as a marvel of modern engineering and is expected to transform travel across the city and beyond.
Once a symbol of frustration in its yesteryears as the Mbudzi roundabout, the newly commissioned Trabablas Interchange is swiftly earning appreciation from those who now navigate its intricate pathways. From transport operators to farmers and the general public, the Trabablas Interchange is being hailed as a major stride in modernizing our road network that has been described as a marvel of modern engineering.
Tinotenda zvikuru nezvakaitwa na president izvi. Matransporters totenda kunge tiri kurota kuti ichokwadi ichi nekutambura kwanga kuchiita mabhazi paMbudzi kuti 5 hours kana 6 hours even 7 hours muvanhu vangori paMbudzi pekuti unofanira kuwasvika Beitbridge kana kuti Chiredzi.
Paine congestion takuita maproblems ekuti mota dzakunonoka kusvika kutown dzanonoka kusvika kutown vafambi vedu vanga vakuoverchargwa mafares akukwira kana especially kwanaya congestion iyo yanga iri kukonzesa zvinhu zvakawanda wanda.
Tine machallenges atinawo like tikatatora mafresh produce edu anofanira kunge achisvika in time, then weti paine congestion isingaite tozosvika kumarket dzatomira nemhuru. So tinotenda this interchange.
The ripple effects extend beyond just transport, but a critical component of the country's broader infrastructure development agenda.
Panapa paiti costa was singaitaimira taivhurwa matrailer achibva cross border, taivhurwa matrailer panapa neconjection yaitika panapa tazosvika zvinhu zvavanhu zvashota tosvika papa muromo. Tinoda kungotenda president nezvinhu zvavaita ichi chinhu chakanaka stereki.
Tinonzwa kufara uye tichitendawo nebasa rose rakabatwa pano zvichireva kuchiti zvachitirerutsiro kubva pamabhizinesi pamwe chete nenhau yeconjection tichitouraya basa.
Aiwa taimira 3 hours 4 hours uri mutraffic, but nhasi tinonzwa kufara iri ngori express kuenda chete. Aiwa tiri kutenda nebasa rakaitwa iri.
The Trabablas Interchange is lauded as a key artery designed to ease congestion and boost regional trade through mobility.
Vice President General retired Dr. Konstantino Chiwenga has commended Tajikistan's rural industrialization programs, highlighting that this model dovetails with Zimbabwe's vision to empower rural communities to achieve food securities as well as to unlock agricultural value.
Amid the serene green landscapes of Trunsunzoda, about 80 kilometers from Dushanbe, Tajikistan's capital, small rice fields and well-tended vineyards stretch across the land. A striking contrast in a country where 93% of the terrain is mountainous. With just 7% of land suitable for cultivation, Tajikistan has managed to make agriculture a cornerstone of its economy, contributing roughly 20 to 25% to the national GDP. Usmanov Nematyon is a former rural school teacher who left the classroom behind to embrace farming, a decision he says changed his life for the better.
So the main reason is anyone can be a teacher, but not anyone can be a farmer. So I chose this life to help people in production of grapes, to help the nation as well.
With 200 hectares under cultivation, Usmanov and other farmers in the area grow a variety of fruits, but mainly grapes destined for both local and international markets, from Russia and Kazakhstan to Pakistan. Some are dried for snacks, others are frozen for off-season consumption. It's a diversified model of productivity that combines tradition with innovation.
We've been doing it through generations. So my father and my grandfather have been doing it. Before, there was no permit in growing up in big lands. So we had our small land in our garden. And now, when the president gave us a permit, we started going up these big hectares of lands.
These local success stories left a deep impression on Zimbabwe's Vice President, General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, who told farmers processing plants and grapeyards as part of a high-level visit. His mission to draw lessons for Zimbabwe's own rural industrialization and development agenda, a key pillar under National Development Strategy 2.
You've seen the rice fields, very small, compact, but they yield at the maximum rate. And then they combine all their produce to have economies of scale. Those small fields in this particular town, they produce 30,000 tons. So that's exactly what we would want to see our rural community in Zimbabwe doing.
Back home, the government is rolling out the Rural Industrialization and Development Agenda, a major pillar of NDS2. The aim is to turn rural areas into hubs of agro-based productivity and processing, where local crops are not just grown, but also transformed into market-ready goods. In this vision, smallholder farmers, long seen as subsistence producers, become agripreneurs, powering rural companies. Whether it's grapes in Tajikistan or groundnuts in Gokwe, the message is the same. With smart policy, investment, and community coordination, rural farming can feed nations and fuel economies. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Tronsonsoda.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has extended a consignment of essentials bringing comfort and relief to learners at Churchill Boys High School after a fire gutted one of the hostels on Monday.
In a touching show of compassion, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, this Friday visited Churchill Boys High School following a fire that destroyed dormitories housing 54 Form 1 and 2 pupils on Monday. True to her role as the mother of the nation, Dr. Mnangagwa visited the school in her personal capacity as a mother. The mother of the nation's visit brought warmth, hope, and reassurance to both students and staff as she brought a consignment of blankets, food items, and traditional meal among other valuables. The First Lady, who is passionate about children, supporting several nationwide initiatives, including those at her Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's Children's Home, said children are always in her heart, hence she had to visit the affected learners.
Takatarisa ndichifunga vabereki vevana tozofunga ivo vana vacho kuti pavari chimwe chitiko chakakura chakadai achizorasikirwa nezvimwe zvinhu zvake azvinomboitika muupenyu hwavo. Saka tichida kuti vasazokanganisika muzvidzidzo, vaone vana mai vabereki tinge tiripo for them. Imi varairidzi muchizobatsirisa kuti vana vadzokedzane nenguva zviite zvakanaka, nokuti takatarisira kumberi nekumberi kuti vachazenge vachinyora bvunzo ravo. Ichitiko zvinhu zvinoitika kwakati wandei hazvo, asi tisina kutarisira zvinhu zvakafanana izvozvo. Hakuna anogadzirira njodzi. As much as it affects also isusu vabereki, chikoro, imi varairidzi. Saka pakutambudzika ngatitambudzike tose. Handina kudanwa nemunhu, asi ndauya saamai kuti aiwa nhamo iyi mangwana iri kumwe, mangwana ndiwe as a person kumba kwako kana kuti chii. Let's be there for each other. Saka kuya kwandaita ndati mwana wega wega anowana gumbeze rake. Pane zvandangozoisawo zvimwe zvokuti ndizvo munongozoona kuti munodini kuti vana vagoziva kuti mai vauya, nokuti kwete kuti ndini ndakunda vabereki vavo, but amai vauya.
The First Lady had an opportunity to talk to the teaching staff, expressing her gratitude for their sterling work. The First Lady implored them to keep on molding children as they are the first parents.
Wese amai wakakosha, wakakoshera mwana wese. Dzidzisa mwana uine rudo semadira unoita vana vako iwewe, nokuti mangwana vachanongedza. Zvandiripo pano mukandibvunza ndakadzidza rini kupi, pane varairidzi vangu vandisingakanganwa. Ezvino vamwe vacho vakubata mudondo. Vana, they will not forget you. Nokuti ndimi hwaro wokunzi munhu uyu. Mwana kana asina kuenda kuchikoro, nediscipline inonetsa muupenyu hwake. Upenyu hwake hauzotasanuka zvakanaka semafungiro nemaonero edu nemaziso enyama, asi munovaka the inside person. Kuti iwewe famba wakadai, unozoona munhu akufungaika kuti pandasvika apa ndakuzoda kuita doctor, ndoda kuita nurse, asi zvabvira pamuri. Hatikutarisirei pasi sevarairidzi. Makore achauya tapa mazera edu, vana iva vachashedzera kuti pane varairidzi vedu ivo vatanga saizvozvo. Ine hangu samai ndinokutendai nebasa guru ramunoita.
Dr. Mnangagwa, a passionate advocate for traditional foods, encouraged teachers to prioritize traditional dishes due to their medicinal benefits. With her unwavering commitment, the mother of the nation has traversed the length and breadth of the nation, helping the needy, including the young, elderly, and people with special needs. Her presence once again proved her deep love for children and her dedication to uplifting communities in times of need.
Aiwa tavaona amai vapinda mukati memusha wedu, vauya kuzotinyaradza, kuzotisimbisa nekuzotiropafadza. Mama ngazviende mberi.
Tinoda kutenda mai nekutidzidzisa kwamaita. Chikoro chose, community yose, vabereki vose, they are very grateful.
The area shadow member of parliament, Comrade Lois Magweva, and Churchill Boys High School head Mr. Aquinos Majunga are appreciative of the First Lady's kind gesture.
Psychologically, these children, they would say, do we have anyone who can help us? And they would see, am I coming? Am I from a high office coming here to give this gesture to the school? Even the school teachers, they had us as community leaders, we are also very appreciative.
We are so excited. We are so happy. I'm sure now we are on our feet. We need to rehabilitate the boys and make sure that they are happy once more.
Through her Angel of Hope Foundation, Dr. Mnangagwa has led numerous child-focused programs, including school fees assistance for underprivileged children and donations of uniforms and stationery to learners in disadvantaged communities. The hostel was burnt on Monday, affecting 54 Form 1 and 2 pupils with all their belongings, including blankets, clothes, school uniforms, and other valuables reduced to ashes. The affected learners are temporarily housed in the senior students' quarters. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The government is finalizing the National Education in Emergencies policy, a blueprint which will protect and ensure that students continue to access quality education during emergencies or times of crisis.
The high number of disasters, mainly as a result of climate change, including floods, cyclones, and diseases such as Cyclone Idai, which have been affecting communities, have become a wake-up call for urgent interventions to reduce their impact on the education sector. The Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Angeline Gata, outlined the measures to protect the education sector from climate-induced shocks.
We are geared to accelerate the finalization of the National Education in Emergencies policies, aligning it with the Zimbabwe National Climate Policy and the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. We envision to legislate mandatory inclusion of climate resilience in school infrastructure codes by 2025. We are looking for other alternative learning pathways, which includes mobile schools and technology. As a ministry, we will prioritize the construction of flood-resistant schools in high-risk zones by 2026.
Students and stakeholders are convinced that supporting the education sector during the times of disasters is critical.
If everyone puts their mind, their resources, their energy, their everything, we can work hard to make Zimbabwe a success.
So in infrastructure, partners should make sure that we have adequate schools, we have adequate classrooms. Our classroom has got ramps to accommodate children with disabilities. In terms of resources, be it books, children that do not have books, partners should come in and provide the books that are required.
We've had several disasters that have befallen the country. Look at disaster Idai, cyclones in Akasiyana. Recently, in constituency Mutasa North and the Munom district, we had a disaster last year, a wind, very serious wind that before the people. So the purpose here Gawe now is to put together my coordinators, development partners, and government to respond to these issues.
The National Global Action Week for Education commemorations held at Chitsate Primary School in Mutasa District were running under the theme Education Saves Lives, Protect Education in Emergencies. Kenya Stifuje, ZBC News, Mutasa.
Government is cracking the whip on exam cheats amid revelations some private schools are fueling impersonation of candidates.
Primary and Secondary Education Minister Honorable Torerai Moyo says they are currently conducting investigations over some cases that have been forwarded to the ministry.
We have received reports that people are practicing malpractices. There is a multiplicity of malpractices that are being done in our schools, especially at independent colleges. A bona fide candidate will not be sitting for an examination, but somebody has been paid to sit on behalf of the real candidate. So they masquerade as bona fide candidates, and in the process they are committing a crime. And we want to take this opportunity to warn all the perpetrators of this malpractice that heads are going to fall. The law is going to take its course. All the examination centers are under surveillance. We have unleashed members of the security forces to visit all centers. And as I'm making this statement, we have already apprehended people in Zhishavani and Harare who have practiced this malpractice of cheating or writing on behalf of another candidate. That is against Section 34 of the Zim Act.
National AIDS Council has red-flagged Hopley and Epworth high-density suburbs as HIV/AIDS hotspots, highlighting they are now working on a raft of measures to curb infection incidents among adolescents.
Statistics indicate the HIV prevalence rate in Harare Metropolitan Province has declined to 8.8% from 14.25% over 10 years ago, but health authorities are not sitting back on their achievements and tackling the spread of virus. At a sensitization meeting for Harare provincial heads in Mazoe this Friday, National AIDS Council Harare Provincial Manager Mr. Adonija Muzondiona highlighted the HIV mitigation efforts being undertaken, especially in HIV hotspots like Hopley and Epworth.
These programs, what we do is we do what we call vulnerability screening to actually identify those people in Epworth and Hopley who are vulnerable to HIV, so that they also get the true facts about HIV and AIDS.
The Ministry of Health and Childcare and the Harare Metropolitan Provincial Government added their voice, indicating a multi-sectoral response is key to eradicating AIDS by 2030.
We have programs that are targeted at preventing mother-to-child transmission of HIV. These programs, they are being implemented across the whole country.
Chidzidzo chatiri kuchaitirwa pano ichi
chidzidziso chichatibatsira kuti isu tichanobatsirawo vasara tichipakurirana nawo zvatichanzwa pano kuitira kuti vanhu vadzivirirwe kubva ku-HIV and AIDS.
Despite the declining prevalence, experts are exercising caution to encourage consistent adherence to antiretroviral therapy while tackling interlinked challenges caused by emergence of non-communicable diseases and drug and substance abuse. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mazowe.
Now, for these and more stories, do log on to our website. That's www.zbc.co.zw. You can also follow us on our social media pages, on Facebook, on X, as well as on YouTube, where you can like and subscribe. And our handle is at ZBC News Online.
Stories still to come in tonight's bulletin. Bulawayo residents plead for protection as machete wielding gangs wreak havoc. And in sport, Moors open up 5-point lead as Simbabora drop points in a thrilling match played at Ngoni Stadium this Saturday. We're off to a break. Stay with us.
Are you a dynamic and enterprising woman running a small business? Whether you're involved in horticulture, fashion design, visual arts, confectionery, the beauty industry, catering and food services, event decor, poultry farming, goat projects, cross-border trading, or small-scale retailing, this is your moment. Join us from the 6th to the 8th of June at Harare Gardens for the inaugural Women's Market Galore. Showcase your business at this groundbreaking event hosted by Empowerment Champion, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa. Admission is free and you are all invited to come. For registration and inquiries, please contact 0719 527 703 or 0778 858-056. Please note that this program will be extended to all provinces across the country on dates to be announced. Empowering women means empowering the nation. Don't miss this opportunity to shine.
Shark on the line.
He took my fish.
You guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
I really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
Drug and substance abuse leads to serious health problems, financial troubles, accidents, injuries, relationship issues, and addiction, which can be very difficult to overcome. Above all, drug and substance abuse is a crime. Are you struggling with drug and substance abuse? Do you know someone who is struggling with drug and substance abuse related addiction? Get assistance by simply phoning on the Drug and Substance Abuse Unit toll-free number 0714-647-002. Don't let drugs control your life. Seek help and start your journey to recovery today.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The just ended Third African Implementation and Partnership Conference on Water in Lusaka, Zambia, resolved to implement policies that guarantee the preservation of water as Africa's most strategic resource.
Ministers in charge of Foreign Affairs, Environment, Water and Sanitation in Africa have since acknowledged the urgent need to raise the profile and value attached to water in national systems for economic planning and development.
We fully recognize that achieving lasting progress requires collaboration well beyond the public sector alone.
We have to institutionalize water accounting to reflect its full economic and social value.
African Union Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment, Mr. Moses Velakati, read out the communique which called on African leaders to mobilize public commitment, supporting water as a strategic, economic and security asset.
The Africa Water Vision 2063 and policy shall be our canvas. It shall be our voice and our commitment to future generations.
The Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Fisheries and Rural Development, Dr. Anxious Masuka, stated the importance of enacting a financing vehicle towards water preservation.
The Africa we want is shaped by us, designed by us. We must begin to look at the economic aspects, not just the blue economy. We must look at water in rural areas. We must look at underground water also as an economic enabler for rural development, for transformation for communities. We must look at water, underground water bores, like we are doing in Zimbabwe, 35,000 bores in 35,000 villages we are drilling to ensure that we are avail water to households.
The conference also concurred on the implementation of action frameworks of both the African Union theme for 2026 and the United Nations 2026 Water Conference, that is to place the Africa Water Vision 2063 and policy at the center stage of global discussions.
We now cross over to our Montrose studio where Marilyn Ngwenya is on standby with more news from that end. Good evening, Marilyn. Over to you.
Good evening and many thanks to you, Natasha and Tariro. And now in our following report, which is sending chills on my spine, Bulawayo residents are living in fear after an increase in cases of machete wielding gangs who are terrorizing residents.
Cases of people being brutally injured by machete wielding gangs are topical in Bulawayo, with Emakhandeni suburb being the latest to be affected. Emakhandeni residents are still shell-shocked after coming face-to-face with a dreadful incident on Wednesday night.
Vana vari kutoenderera mberi nokutouraya vanhu. Ava vanhu havana kuti vanoda mari kana kuti kudi ava vaka. Vanongorova ende futi havarovi uku. Vanorova musoro. Bemba mumusoro wemunhu anditi. Then the day before yesterday vakarova shamwari yangu ameona payako yakarohwa uko vakamudambura maoko aya akadambuka maoko aya.
Sibe lokwethuka lokudana omabhemba ngoba sabona obaba ababili bebuya bevelelayo bequma phakathi kweground yesikolo belimele, abanye omunye wayechaywe ezandleni, omunye bambhemba futhi ekhanda. Ngoba sokuyinto sibile lesikhathi bahlala bebhemjwa abantu belinyazwa kakhulu.
Sizakhamizi emakhandeni thina siyathengisa khona apha sithengisela amatamatisi, sapho ngubona nje omunye ubaba sebuya seganyuliwe ngabamabhemba. Ukuthi kwakutheni asikwazi kodwa sabuye umbona umuntu seganyuliwe sithi uhlangane labafana ababili bamgamula.
Lapha sisithwele nzima indaba zamabhemba. Amabhemba laba abantu bakhona bahlala egangeni. And ma ucrossa wena wozibuyela emsebenzini bakuthayimela. Lokuthathele yonke into beqede lapha bewugama.
Bulawayo Police spokesperson Inspector Nomalanga Msebele confirmed receiving reports of such attacks in different suburbs of the city.
Mhla 28 May 2025 ngabokota to 8 ntambama amadoda amathathu abezihambela nje ngemva koko Apollo besuka emakhandeni ngangale komgwaqo kamasephambili besiya ngangapha kwemakhandeni eko Apollo. Kuthe kuhambeni khona lapho kulezigebenga ezimbili abafana ababili abahambe babahlahlela ngamabhemba. Okuqala besuka laphana ukugadelwa khona emthova yasecholocho ezihambela khona laphana bambamba inkunzi bamthathela imali bamthathela lefoni abanye ababili laba bebengemva kwamakhosi ako Apollo.
The Emakhandeni incident comes hard on the heels of similar incidents in Country Park and the Central Business District. Machete wielding gangs are synonymous with mining communities, and the new trend in Bulawayo calls for urgent intervention.
Government has pledged continued support to the small and medium enterprises sector, noting its growth is sustaining millions of livelihoods countrywide.
The annual trade showcase held in Matabele North Provincial Capital Lupane has gone beyond being just a calendar event, with the expo attracting SMEs with different business interests. There is satisfaction the expo is providing a critical networking platform.
Labadala emakhaya lamayouth silapha namhla kakhulu ukuzotshengisa imisebenzi emihle eyenziwa ngamayouth. Sesilamayouth amaningi atrainwe in vocational skills, balungisa amafoni bakhona nje khonapha balungisa inwele lama-nails.
Government says the SMEs sector is key in reducing poverty and sustaining livelihoods.
We will continue to provide support through SMETCO. Varipano SMETCO. Bangari Ripaspangu, Bangari Urumende. And I Kwavari, when you have got dreams of expanding, these are the people to talk to. But remember, these are banks, they'll give you a loan when you have properly sat down and put your project proposal so that they see that you can pay. Because the loans which are given, whether through the government banks, the SMETCO, the Women Microfinance Bank, they need to be paid back.
Matabele North's SME sector is an economy dominated by arts and crafts and traditional food processing, among others, and has become a key source of employment. Mhlomo Ngcobe, ZBC News, Lupane.
Meanwhile, women in business are pushing for the enhanced uptake of key positions in leadership to overcome business prejudice through providing exposure to talented women.
Women leaders convened in Bulawayo this Friday at the Motivate Women's Forum WMF, a critical platform to honor outstanding female personalities in business. It was also an opportunity for the leaders to network and exchange knowledge to improve leadership skills in business, while also centering on the conversation targeting for enhanced participation of women in key decision-making roles.
I've learned to be myself, to develop my personal brand on how to survive in that business and to sustain those businesses. That our business should not die with me.
I feel so challenged. I feel like I need to do more for myself, for my brand, and I feel I need to work more hard. And I've realized that more things can be achieved, but what we need to do is to accept, to learn, to be sharpened.
Motivate Women's Forum says capacitating women leaders remains a key mandate.
It's an opportunity where we created various topics that are actually inclined with what the women are going through. It could be at work, it could be in their private lives. So we decided that, okay, it's time that we create Business Leadership Conference where we're discussing leadership, where we're encouraging women. Here we're giving it a platform that where the women are free to actually have a question and answer panel where they'll be free to ask all the legal questions that they've been scared to ask, avoiding legal fees that they would have to pay.
The Women in Leadership and Decision-Making Strategy Blueprint is one of the major policies highlighting government's commitment to promoting women's participation in business leadership and governance, recognizing that their full inclusion drives a more inclusive and prosperous future.
Midlands Province is on a high alert to combat veld fires this year, prompting environment authorities to spearhead intense awareness campaigns targeting farmers. This comes as the country recorded a surge in the hectares of land destroyed by veld fires last year.
Before the fateful 20 August 2024, Mr. John Masuku, a cattle rancher located some 20 kilometers southwest of Gweru in Somabula, was head over heels, thinking and imagining how his 14,000 bales of hay would turn his life into gold. Little did he know that fate has its own decisions. A harsh veld fire engulfed his farm, demolishing his 3 tractors and 14,000 bales of hay. Still imprinted in his mind, the farmer is still counting losses.
Takanyanya kudzokeresa kozi sezvo manzwa kuti ma tractors 3 brand new. Imwe yacho ingasatepedza mwedzi yasvika. Ichine ma plastics. Zvakatidzosera shure zvekutoti chero nanhasi kusimuka kwacho kunotonetsa. Tiri kutotatarika kuti tidzokere paya andifunge kuti tichadzokera pano paya. Saka moto unodzosera shure zvakanyanyisa.
Farmers who attended the launch of the Midlands Province fire season are pinning their hopes on increased collaboration and stakeholder participation to curb fire incidences.
Chakatinakira zvikuru because tinowanzosangana nemadambudziko akadaro ekuti tinosangana nemaveld fires anova anotikanganisa zvikuru sevarimi mukupfuwa nemukurarama kwezvipfuwo zvedu.
Moto utinokuvadza, unotiruzisa, ng'ombe dzinoshaya zvokudya, and chirongwa chaita pano chaita kuti vanhu vadzidze.
The environmental management agents has predicted an increase in veld fires, hence urging farmers to play a crucial role in combating veld fire incidences.
Mabula ne wards are Mutrumanzi districts. They are actually areas that are predicted to be affected the most by the veld fires this year. Saka ndosakatauya panapa kuti toronga nema farmers kuti toita sei tichigadzirira the coming fire season.
In the 2024 fire season, at least 70,000 hectares were destroyed by the veld fires in the Midlands Province. Karejushe, ZBC News, Somabula.
And that's it for myself, Marilyn Gunya, and the Montrose crew for tonight. News at 8 continues from Pocket Hill Studios in Harare, where Natasha and Tariro are on standby. Ladies, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Marilyn, and the team from that end. Moving on from this side, as part of efforts to decentralize the fight against corruption, the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission is set to open its doors in Marondera. Let's get more on that report.
In line with government's thrust of devolution and decentralization, the anti-corruption body has announced plans to open its doors in Mashonaland East Province after acquiring new premises in Marondera. This was revealed by ZAC's Prevention and Corporate Governance Chairperson, Commissioner Chido Madiwa, during the provincial launch of an illegal land sales campaign at Mausekwa Growth Point this Thursday.
His Excellency, varikuita zvakanakisisa kunyaya devolution, decentralization yema services. Saka tiri kufara kuti ma offices ezaki tiri kuisa fully fledged offices muno mumarondera kuitira kuti ma services acho vaya vari kuda kumhangara musambonetseka kuti tiri kuda kuenda kupi unenge uchingopfuura nepauri kufamba napo wototaura nyaya dzako pama offices ipapo panenge paine all services dzinoitwa nezaki. Ticha decentralize kusvika pane munhu wese ndo pa village handiti.
Mashonaland East Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Itai Ndudzo, welcomed the decentralization of the anti-corruption board's services and warned illegal land dealers.
Ngatibatanei nevarume nemadzimai aya vabva kuZimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission. Tirwise uori nekuti uori uroi. Saka imi vezaka hatidi kuti mungouya pano chete, taakuda kuti muchigara munzvimbo, muchifamba, tigadzirise nzvimbo. Ndo zvinoita kuti tigozosvika paVision 2030. Hatikwanise kusvika ikoko kana mumafuro. Matinofanira kunge tichifudzira mombe. Vamwe vatone makambani anotengesa mafuro. Hatisvike kana patakasiyawo tichiti apa pachavakwa chikoro, apa pachavakwa chipatara, vamwe vachitengesa. Asisiri makore akare atakanga tichingoita zvinhu. Muno Mashonaland East Province hatidi worry.
The anti-land parceling campaigns will be taken to all districts in Mashonaland East Province.
Zimbabwean companies committed to local production were recognized at the Zim Brands Awards held in Harare this Friday, an event that celebrated domestic manufacturing excellence and highlighted the government's efforts to boost local industry as a cornerstone to economic development.
Government is encouraging domestic production in 10 value chains identified in the National Development Strategy 1 in a bid to feed, clothe and supply the nation using local resources while preparing for participation in export markets. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Thomas Hushe, said the annual awards not only acknowledged outstanding performance in local production but also reinforced the country's broader economic vision under the National Development Strategy 1.
This annual celebration not only honors excellence in local production, but also reinforces our commitment to building a resilient economy through homegrown initiatives. It also fosters the localization of value chains, which puts the economy at an advantage as we do not only grow the economy, but we equally grow our society.
Chairperson of the Local Content Steering Committee, Mr. Charles Musipa, said supporting local production was essential for economic sustainability, job creation, and skills development.
Supporting local production creates jobs, boosts SMEs, encourages innovation. So when we use local materials for local production, when we engage local suppliers and build local value chains, we reduce dependence on imports and enhance our self-reliance and diversification of our economy from exclusive exports of commodities.
The Zim Brand Awards honored various companies and products that have demonstrated leadership in local sourcing, manufacturing, and brand excellence, positioning themselves as key players in Zimbabwe's economic transformation agenda amid increasing national focus on import substitution and industrial self-reliance. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
We're off to a break. Stay with us.
Welcome to a new era in tobacco farm. The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, TIMB, has rolled out the biometric grower management system to protect every genuine tobacco grower. With this innovative technology, only you can verify your identity for account adjustments, input collection, stop orders, and insurance. You also get support and payments without delays. Biometrics offer you security, efficiency, and transparency. Why wait? Visit the nearest TIMB office now with your national ID. We will capture your fingerprints and link them to your grower number. You can also register at tobacco selling points as you sell your tobacco. It's fast and it's easy. We guarantee that your biometric data is protected and will only be used to improve the tobacco industry database and processes. Our offices are in Harare, Butare, Lusaka, Murundara, Bandura, Karoi, Mvurwi, and Chimbui. Visit the office nearest to you, get your fingerprints captured, and secure a thriving future for the tobacco industry. Register your fingerprints. Secure your future. Grow with confidence.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. And now in the arts segment, Zimbabwe made a huge statement of intent at the 72nd edition of the Miss World pageant after its representative, 23-year-old Courtney Jongwe, booked a place among the top 40 beauty queens.
Representing Zimbabwe with elegance and passion, Courtney Jongwe advanced to the quarterfinals of the Miss World competition held in Telangana, India this Saturday, placing among the top 40. The achievement marks a significant milestone as she competed with 107 beauty queens from across all continents. During her journey, she stood out in key fast-track events, securing a place in the top 20 for Multimedia Challenge and making the top 32 in the Sports Challenge. The Miss World 2025 crown was officially passed on by reigning queen to Thailand Suchata Chuangsri, who is now the Miss World 2025. Suchata also earned the title of Continental Queen for Asia after capturing the hearts of judges. Ethiopia's Haset Admasu emerged as first runner-up, also winning the Continental crown for Africa. She was closely followed by Maja Klada of Poland, who took second runner-up, and the European crown. Aurélie Joachim of Martinique completed the top 4, finishing as third runner-up and Continental Queen for Americas and Caribbean. Though she narrowly missed a spot in the top 20, Courtney Jongo's presence and strong performance made Zimbabwe proud and has left a mark on the global stage. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News.
The 10th edition of the European Film Festival Zimbabwe opened this Friday at the Mbare Arts Space, drawing a vibrant crowd of film and arts enthusiasts from across Harare.
This year's milestone edition marks a decade of growing cultural exchange between Zimbabwe and the European Union, transforming the festival from a showcase of European cinema into a platform for dialogue between African and European filmmakers. Speaking at the opening, the European Union Ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Ketchman, reflected on the evolution of the festival, which now provides space for both African and European films, enabling mutual understanding through storytelling.
Culture becomes a factor of cohesion if you open up to another culture. So the film festival, the EU Film Festival, has gradually developed into a platform for African filmmakers, European filmmakers, bringing everybody together, having an exchange of African films, European films, short films, ultra short films.
With curated selections aimed at stimulating dialogue and building artistic bridges across continents. National Arts Council of Zimbabwe Board Chairperson Dr. Nozipho Maraire hailed the collaboration as timely and vital for Zimbabwe's film sector, serving as a catalyst for growth of Zimbabwean cinema.
With this EU 10-year partnership, we are able to see other people's stories, but they are now able to see our stories. And as you know, National Arts Council has declared this the Year of the Film. So Year of the Film is launched. You need people to see the films.
The European Union Film Festival continues over the weekend with more film screenings and interactive sessions before moving to Bulawayo for further engagements with the local arts community. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
And with that story, we take a break. And when we come back, we'll be giving you the latest in sport.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
Drug and substance abuse leads to serious health problems, financial troubles, accidents, injuries, relationship issues, and addiction, which can be very difficult to overcome. Above all, drug and substance abuse is a crime. Are you struggling with drug and substance abuse? Do you know someone who is struggling with drug and substance abuse related addiction? Get assistance, by simply phoning on the Drug and Substance Abuse Unit toll-free number 0714 647 002. Don't let drugs control your life. Seek help and start your journey to recovery today.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. And now in our sports update, Moors FC have extended their lead at the top of the Casalaga Premier Soccer League, standing after beating Scotland FC in a thrilling match played at Ngoni Stadium this Saturday.
After failing to make the Warriors team for either the international friendlies and the COSAFA Cup, Billy Veremu continues to prove his class in the local premiership after leading his side to victory over Scotland FC. The 29-year-old striker stole the headlines from the much-anticipated clash, scoring his 9th goal of the campaign from close range to win the maximum points for his team. With hefty bonuses on the line for either side, Moors showed complete dominance in their territory, restricting the visitors to second best to complete a perfect night in Norton. The Scotland star-studded lineup failed to show up to the occasion as Moors, supported by the 12th man, proved why they are leading the title race so far this campaign, as they clinched a crucial victory to create a 4-point lead between themselves and second-placed Zimbabwe, who dropped points in Shamva. The defending champions Zimbabwe failed to capitalize on their possession and chances as they shared the spoils in a new odd draw with former champions Ngeze Platinum Stars at Wadzanai Stadium. At Sakova Stadium, struggling Cape United registered a change of fortunes as they scored a late goal to clinch their second victory of the campaign by beating Manika Diamonds by a goal to nil. In other matches played this Saturday, Tel 1 lost to FC Platinum by a single goal, while ZBC Kariba beat Yada by the same scoreline at Nyamunga. The biggest victory of the day belonged to Bikita Minerals, who enjoyed their trip to the capital with a 2-0 victory over Orientals, while Chicken Inn and Triangle settled for a nil or draw to share a point apiece. Sunday promises to be a blockbuster as the Beto of Zimbabwe takes center stage at the ceremonial home of football, Rufaro Stadium. Long-standing rivals Dynamos and Highlanders will renew their rivalry in arguably the biggest fixture on the domestic premiership calendar. Butter Stadium in Gweru plays host to a match between Koko United and Green Fuel to round up a thrilling match day 14. Reynald Ngwarati, ZBC News.
Candidates vying for positions in the Women Premier Soccer League have started campaigning following the pronouncement by Zifa on the roadmap to elections that are set for the 25th of July.
6 June will be D-Day for both the Women Premier Soccer League and their male counterparts for the nomination of candidates vying for positions on the board. Pushing for positions as Nicodemus Lee started, and the Women Football Fraternity says candidates with the best interest in the game should present their credentials.
For now, so far, we haven't had any candidates, but there are some rumors that there are candidates. For now, we haven't had anything. I'm waiting for the names on the 6th of June.
Both the Women Premier Soccer League Football and the Men's Premier Soccer League are expected to usher in a new leadership after Zifa outlined the roadmap to the elections. Mtokozi Stuve, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Chegato High School claimed bragging rights at this year's Evangelical Lutheran Church in Zimbabwe Schools Championships after amassing more than 20 gold medals in the athletics competition held at Manama this Friday.
The 3-day annual sports gala brought together students from Lutheran schools across the country. Chegato emerged winners after beating perennial rivals Zezana High School in the tightly contested under-20 boys 4x1 relays. The tracks and field events presented an opportunity for the national athletics coaching staff to scout for talent.
Isisincedisile ukuthi si-identify potential talent and siyigroom. So thina lapha nje amaqeqeshi be-athletics umsebenzi wethu singokuthatha lokho esikubonileyo sibancedise ukuba grooma, sibancedise ukuperforma kuhle so that they grow into talented athletes and our future Olympians.
One of the things which will continue uniting us as a church is coming through the sports activities from our schools nationwide. And as you can see, these schools are from all the 3 dioceses. We have got about 15 schools. One of them did not come, but we have 15 today.
On behalf of Vice President Kembo Mohadi, Minister of State for Matabele and South Provincial Affairs and Devolution, a former student at Manama High School, commended the commitment by the ELCZ to the development of talent among learners.
Competence-based approaches to education delivery promotes talent identification among learners, while leveraging on the traditional methods of inculcating knowledge and skills to our children. The results of an education system only become visible when livelihoods are transformed through utilization of those non-academic talents that were not considered important in the education curriculum.
The Evangelical Lutheran Church of Zimbabwe National Sports Gala was held under the theme Self-Reliance and Critical Thinking. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
Cross over to the Met Department to have the weather report and forecast.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and thank you for joining us in today's edition of the Weather Report and Focus. My name is Baba Maketa. It was cold in the morning, but later on became warm in the afternoon throughout the country under clear skies. However, towards evening, again, it became a little bit cooler, and it is expected to continue cooling down until tomorrow morning. Now, in terms of our skies, as can be depicted on the satellite image showing there, we are not expecting much in terms of clouds countrywide, and we are also not expecting much in terms of any activity throughout the country, except for some chances of slight groundfalls that can occur in areas such as Henderson, Bulawayo, as well as Matopos and Chimanimani areas. Now, let us take a detailed look at our temperatures that are expected tomorrow morning. We're expecting our temperatures over the central parts of the country to be between 7 and 10 degrees Celsius, but over our valleys, temperatures can range between 12 and 14 degrees Celsius. The same in terms of maximum temperatures, lower temperatures over the central parts of the country, but in the peripheries, we're expecting temperatures to go to as high as 27 and 28 degrees Celsius. That is over the Sawe as well as Zambezi valleys. Now, let us take a look at the detailed focus of our major holiday resort areas and major cities. Starting with Bulawayo, we were expecting mostly sunny conditions throughout the forecast week, and temperatures in the morning are expected to range between 8 and 10 degrees Celsius, and in the afternoon, temperatures will range between 20 and 28 degrees Celsius. Matobo again will behave the same story. It will be cold in the morning, becoming warm in the afternoon under mostly sunny conditions. And temperatures in the morning will range between 9 and 13 degrees Celsius. Gwanda, mostly sunny conditions are expected, and temperatures in the morning will range between 9 and 12 degrees Celsius. Gweru, mostly sunny and cold in the morning, becoming warmer in the afternoon. Mashingo, again, mostly sunny and cold in the morning, becoming warmer in the afternoon with some clouds on Thursday and Friday next week. In Nyanga, mostly sunny conditions are expected throughout the week, and it will be cold in the morning, with tomorrow being expected to record a minimum of 3 degrees Celsius. Marondera, the same situation is expected, cold in the morning and warm in the afternoon. Harare, mostly sunny conditions throughout the forecast week, and temperatures between 9 and 10 degrees Celsius. Kwekwe, mostly sunny and warm in the afternoon. Kadoma, cold in the morning but warm in the afternoon. Chinoi, the same situation. Victoria Falls, again, the same situation is expected. Lupani, nothing much to say. Bindura, warm in the afternoon. Kariba, warm again in the afternoon. And now Zimbabwe, that is all we had for you in this edition of the Weather Report and Focus. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Thank you so much to the Met Department for the Weather Report and Forecast. For that report bringing us to the end of tonight's bulletin. Good night.
Good night.
Another chance.
Welcome back to Another Chance. Today we revisit the haunting story of Washington Majuru, a man whose life was irrevocably changed by a moment of rage. Years ago, in a drunken haze, he took the life of his own uncle, a crime that shattered not only a family, but also a man's spirit.
Saturday. Ndabva ku Bulawayo Friday. Samakuseni ndakati ndimbotenderawo muraini. Ndichida kutenderawo muraini. Saka pane panotengeswa traditional beer. Doro ninge kachaso. Ndopanda ipfuro rwachido kuti ndirotsvaga ufocho. Ndichinosvika ipapo ndikabva ndasvika pana bamunini wangu. Ndisvika pana bamunini wangu ndakavamhoresawo bamunini wangu. Ndakadaiswa kanza hauzi mwana wangu. Sei usingauyi uchingondiona. Baba wako ndio baba wakafa. Saka inini ndakazongobatikanawo neizvozvo. Zvakandibata mumwoyo mangu. Asi zvandibata kudaro handina kutora action yakanyanya kusvikira vazotoro yandingati catapult reken yakazondipfura pa yandingati forefinger yangu. Yandipfura pa forefinger ndipo ndakatanga kudzorera kuvarwisawo.